Quintus stepped through the field of dead men, his eyes fixed straight ahead. His bearing remained resolutely impassive despite it all. The Primus Pilus would not be moved, even by such a scene as this. Across the silent battlefield, a golden eagle stood tall, guiding him forward to the command post. Tiberius strode to the front of the formation and, as one, the legions saluted their commander. "Men, brothers," he began, "this day will forever be remembered as a day of triumph. A victory befitting Rome. Northward we march. The Gauls have forgotten their last lesson, believing themselves superior to Rome's prowess. We shall put down their ill-advised incursion and take back what is ours. Then we shall teach them what it truly means to be a Roman. There is much still to do. More glory to be won, more riches to be had, and more barbarians to be crushed beneath our feet. We are not done, for Rome is not done, and so we shall not stop. For the glory of Rome." The men shouted in unison. Quintus vanished. It barely took a moment for the men to react. In a flash, the sounds of shouts and swords leaving their scabbards filled the air. Row by row, second by second, the legion disappeared into thin air. Marcus dashed through the darkened streets of the backwater town. Behind him, rapid footfalls and clanking metal told him exactly how close the guards were to catching him. Such was the life of a bawd. A rustling in the forest made his head snap to the side. He soon spotted a dark, indistinct form hidden in the foliage. As he focused on it, a glowing string of golden letters resolved in his vision. Shadow Panther LVL7. Just as he continued to tiptoe forward, instinct sent him rolling forward into a somersault. Springing to his feet, Marcus looked back to see a second Shadow Panther, a level 6-1 this time, glowing purple eyes fixed on him as it gave a low growl. Even worse, the other Shadow Panther had descended from its perch to join its fellow. Thinking quickly, Marcus activated Glamour. He sent a projection of himself running into the darkened forest while masking his own presence, then continued running down the forest path towards safety. A light at the end of the tunnel of trees spurred him forward, but when the light washed over him, Marcus stumbled to a stop, his relief quickly giving way to horror. The bridge itself was no more. Bits of splintered wood and shattered pylons lined both banks. Swimming wasn't an option. Either. Not unless he wanted to get dashed against those rocks, or pulled under the turbulent rapids. Turning back to the forest, he froze. Several sets of purple eyes stared at him from its edge, their gazes hungry. He heard approaching shouts from further up the path. A guard rounded a final bend and spotted him. "Halt!" One cried out. "Don't move!" The bard's eyes darted between the guard, the Shadow Panthers, and the river. He was surrounded on all sides by dead ends and terrible options. He was screwed. A little reluctantly, he pulled out his emergency option, a leather-bound tome. Its pages yellowed, but surprisingly intact. Its cover bore the image of an eagle with wings spread wide. Superimposed on a golden wreath, the letters SPQR were embossed in gold underneath the bird's feet. All he knew was that it was clearly labeled as a summoning spell, though he had absolutely no idea what a Roman legion was. Tabuki miteru, with confidence and fluidity, beads of sweat formed on his brow in concentration. As the guards drew ever closer, "He's a spellcaster. He's the scoundrel we're looking for. Be careful!" After a few tense moments, the spell was completed, and with a vocal flourish, Marcus said the final words. A flash of crimson and gold light blinded him. His senses filled with the clash of metal, the roar of a great audience, visions of battles won, and eagles with golden wings. A tidal wave of fearless determination crashed over him. And then, as suddenly as it had begun, it all stopped. A male figure stood resolutely before him. The man was clad in a polished metal breastplate, its overlapping sheets catching the rising sun, and a skirt-like garment of leather and red cloth. Slung across his shoulders was a rectangular red shield, bearing 4 golden wings, An inky black cat leapt from the shadows towards his prone form. Fear flashed through his mind as he called out a strangled warning. Without hesitation, the warrior sprang into action. He spun around to face the cat, drawing his blade. The blade tip gracefully sliced through the panther's throat. In a spray of blood, he ducked beneath its lunge, brought up his shield, and slammed aside the other massive cat. It fell to the ground and the warrior stabbed down into its skull. Before the panthers had finished twitching, the warrior spun to face the charging guards. Raising his curved rectangular shield, he deflected an arrow and sent it whizzing off to the side. An entire line of soldiers in identical armor now spanned the clearing. The red-plumed warrior glanced behind him and issued a single command, "Shield!" With military precision, the men snapped together in a solid wall of shields, blocking the panicked guards' arrows. "Advance!" The shield wall marched forward. Row after row of warriors kept appearing, falling into step behind their fellows. Marcus watched from the ground as a literal army materialized before him, line by line. The endless torrent of men pursued the retreating guards through the forest, toward the unsuspecting town beyond. It was at that point that Marcus realized he might have made a mistake.